Now Siam, Tiaya, Sohila Quinisanat Tacho, Tikaya Siam and Estelcha, Solcada, welcoming each of you to our February 19th Gathering of the Eagles planning meeting. My English name is Freddie Lane, Clactamish, enrolled citizen of the Lummi Nation. Just welcoming all of our friends here. This is our 92 day countdown meeting for the Gathering of Eagles, which begins on 5/22/22, May 22nd. Before we begin, I'm going to ask our youth relative, Santana Rabang, to open us up in a good way, thinking of all of our families that might be in mourning and remembering our friends and our friends on the island that lost a beloved just today. So thank you, Santana.
Aishka Fred. I'm learning how to do my openings as I've been working with Daryl at Children of the Setting Sun Productions, so bear with me. Siam Nishalcha, Haishka Quinisan Atachol, Isaiatsin Klutsatina Qualia. Hello, my respected people. Thank you for being here today. My hands go up to you. I just want to open up this space in a good way, and we know we always do that with prayer. So I just want to make sure that we're going into this meeting with an open heart, open mind, and that we're really contributing to what Fred is bringing us all together here for. And yeah, just good heart and good mind. So hi, Ishka, thank you for being here.
ACM, thank you, my young friend, my young relative. It's good to see you. Good to see you. I have I guess we'll go around and introduce one another. Again, Solcada, Freddie Lane, Golden Eagle Clan, Chiskin Clan here at the Lummi Nation. My parents are late Vernon and Nancy Lane, both of Lummi. Again, it's good to be with each of you, and I'll pass it to Kathy.
Kathy, you're on mute.
Thank you. I'm Kathy Taggart. My Tlingit name is Kana'a. I'm from the Kaguntan clan, and we're part of the Canoe family, but they're not traveling this year, but we'll be safety boat carrying a paramedic for the First Nations canoes.
My name is Ron, and I'm Dune in Haida. I'm a member of the Canoe family and an elder trainer. And our skipper is in Alaska at this time, looking to work on a 9th canoe. Together we've carved 3, and he's carved all the others himself. And we look forward to being the first aid boat for the canoes that are coming in from Canada to join this great journey.
And that's a real boat Ron is talking about, just so everybody knows. No, just Lady
Gray is a marvelous boat.
Thanks, Ron. Sally.
OCO. My name is Solly Cross. I'm Cherokee and Caddo. My dad's side, Cherokee, on my mom's side, Caddo on my father's side. Caddo Hassane, they're Red River people. And my name, Sali, means persimmon seed in Cherokee. With the Portland All Nations Canoe family, I'm the skipper. As visitors, all of us to these waters, just glad to be participating and appreciate your hospitality. Hope to share songs and culture with you as we come up. Thank you.
Jody, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jody. I am a member of the Canoe Canoe family and of the Strong Women of the Water Canoe Society, which is on Cortez Island. And delighted to be part of the organizing team for the Canadian Canoes. So looking forward to seeing everybody in person this year. It's so exciting. I was just with our skipper from the Canoe Canoe family, Rachel, who you all know. That's why I was late, because she happened to be in the city. So Natalie and I ran and had a quick visit with her and the boys, and super excited. We're hoping we'll put forward a canoe, and if not, one of our sister tribes will, and we'll all be able to pull together. So looking forward to seeing everyone and working together to bring it all together for everyone. So thanks so much.
Oh, Strider.
Sam, thanks for calling on me and checking in from Nanaimo territory today. Very grateful to be able to live and learn on this land. The Canoe Canoe family is an all-nation family. We're made up of Métis and a large number of other First Nation relatives across the West Coast, and especially the Plains. We like to bring our relatives in from the interior and offer space, and often bring our elders, veterans, and whoever else has that deep understanding and appreciation of wanting to know what canoe journeys is about. I'm really glad to be on the planning and organizing side over here, and some of the things that Jody and Jeff and a bunch of us are dreaming up to try to keep tribal journeys and the learnings and teachings alive in a good way. And thanks for hearing my words today. Ho, ho.
All right, thanks, Strider. Let's go to, is it Jana?
It is Jana, and I am Cree Métis from St. Paul, Alberta, residing on Birch Bay and part of the welcoming committee for any canoes.
I was like, oh my gosh, I have to look at Jana. Hi, Jana. Wow, good to see you. Wow, that's great. Thank you for joining us. Santana.
Hi, everyone. My name is Santana Rabang. Through my maternal side, I come from Lummi. My mother is Felicia Rabang. My grandparents are Hazel Lawrence and Felix Gallegos, and my great-grandparents are Madeline Quincy and Peter Lawrence. Through my paternal side, I come from Nooksack and First Nation Shwai Village. My grandparents are Robert Rabang Sr. and Janice Lee Nelson, and my great-grandparents are Elizabeth and Francisco Rabang. And I come from the Three Sisters Canoe family. We are that canoe family is from my dad's side, so we represent Nooksack and First Nation Shwai Village, and the Three Sisters represent the three daughters of our ancestor Annie George, and we come from the Rabang, Rapatas, and Gladstone family. So I'm happy to be here with you all today. Haishka.
All right, thanks, Santana. Mr. Ready, go. Go ahead.
Bill, you're on mute.
Hit your space bar, my relative, so we can hear you.
There we go.
Hey, Sam.
My name is Phil Red Eagle. I'm half Dakota and half Salish, and I'm enrolled with my father's people in Montana. But in 1988, there was such a dilemma going on that I decided that I would be my mother's son and be Salish. And that decision in 88 kind of really changed my life. So I started working on cultural projects, and I met Tom Heidelbaugh in 82, and we started this putting together a journey, and it was a very successful journey, and that's where your copper ring comes from. So we and number of other things that we do as a canoe movement, come from that collaboration. And it wasn't just Tom and I, it was half a dozen to a dozen other people that were providing, information and tradition and native structure to what we were doing. It was pretty amazing. So now I'm with the head of the Carver's Camp, and we have a canoe called the Skullich, and it means octopus. And I wanted to avoid having a name like Eagle or Hawk or Raven or Killer Whale, just wanted to keep it regular. And so we wanted to honor the octopus. My grandfather was an octopus hunter, a fisherman, I guess you'd call him. And so we ate a lot of octopus when I was a child. Yeah. So I can't eat octopus. Well, as long as we have a Skullich, I can't eat octopus anymore. But I haven't for a while. I haven't even seen one in a while. So it's good to be doing this and to working on this particular structure, so that as we move through the various transitions into who we are and what we do. And so I'm very happy to be here participating.
Good to see you, my friend. And last but certainly not least, the man of the hour and the man with the $64,000 question, Mr. Jeff Smith from McCaw. Oh, and by the way, just for the record, I asked Jeff what his Indian name was, and he said, my Indian name is Jeff Smith. Okay. Go ahead, brother. Sorry.
That's okay. I was hoping to get the laugh for that one, but that's okay. So, yeah, so Jeff Smith, Makah tribal member, living near Seattle. And I usually paddle with the Makah Ocean-Going Canoe Society, but I often paddle with other canoes. It's like last year I was shanghaied by the octopus. So thankfully it was wonderful. And so I'm glad to be here. Those of you who don't know me, I've been involved with the canoe journey since '96, and been fortunate to spend a lot of time supporting it. So really glad to be here. Thank you.
Great. Good to see you, Jeff. Thanks for the call the other day. Just so everybody knows, this past year, we were trying to have a gathering September 1st. Another COVID, we had plan A, plan B, plan C, D. And so this is kind of, I think, right around plan, what, K or J now, Jeff? But it looks really promising for the in 92 days. And I think, hey, they held the Super Bowl with a fully masked event. I'm going to let me see if I can share my screen here. And I don't know how I'm okay. Can you all see my screen okay?
A nice island.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to just go over this real quick. Again, welcoming each and every one of you. This is a canoe encampment hosted by myself and our friends in the spirit of the potlatch. It's a grassroots journey as we're paddling through traditional Clackamas territories of Lopez Island, San Juan, Orcas, Henry, Stewart, and Waldron Islands, just to name a few, beginning 5/22/22. So when you share our event with people, just remember 5/22/22. That's when we're starting the paddle. We're glad everyone's here helping us on this historic endeavor. All of our meetings are going to be a Zoom, and Endor will be StreamYarding. some of our, I don't want to say executive meetings, but our host committee is going to host some future meetings online so that we could see people, see people's questions. It's going to be pretty cool. It'll be fully interactive, and we'll be able to cut a lot of our broadcasts a little bit short, with the hope of again educating everyone. But we'll be starting that coming next week. Just note that our gathering is not sanctioned by the nation, the council, or its staff. It's going to be privately funded and by donations and volunteers. You should plan, if you're coming, just plan on like you were going camping for Memorial Day weekend and what you'd bring. I'm a member of the Golden Eagle Clan, again, Salceda, and our host committee. You know, we just plan on providing the safest opportunity for canoe families to come together in the humble spirit of community and grassroots. Just want to again emphasize with everybody, again, for the protection of our elders and paddlers, your COVID-19 vaccination card will be required. That's not going to be questioned. We're going to work on hopefully raising some funds. I haven't shared this with Jody, but I thought a cool lanyard, something cool with, I don't know, the design and just something that you wear around, or maybe we handed out some cool ribbons that will let everybody know that you're fully vaccinated. And I just put this over here. Our host committee, myself, Jeff, Jody, Harry, Stephanie Buffum couldn't make it today, but she's from the islands. Phil Strider, Lady Gray, Lori Glenn, Mary Goff, Captain John. That's just to name a few. Again, that'll be the team that'll be having the weekly meetings online to just share our updates on our potlatch and canoe encampment. Again, and I'll send this out to each of you. Just email me or put it in the chat there. I don't know why I called today the main meeting. Like, it's the main game day. We're at 92 days. What we're going to do here, March 2nd, it's a Wednesday. We're actually going out to, we're going to do a 4-island hop. Myself, Jeff Smith, and my dear friend, those of you that know Nancy Shippentower, she's from Puyallup, Nisqually, and we're going to catch probably the 10:20, get out to San Juan Island for a noon to 2 meeting. We're going to go look at some different sites on Henry Island and down by the Trap, down by Cattle Point, and then look at Friday Harbor where the canoes will come in. We have a pretty cool idea. I think we might do either some recordings or just show you guys live, you know, where we're going to land for those that are making the island hop, the Clackamas paddle. Then we're going to stay on Shaw Island. March 3rd, we're going to Orcas, meeting with them and the Oddfellows. March 5th, we're going to Lopez Island. And then we'll return Friday night on the 420. And then I guess I'm going to call it our monthly Zoom meeting. That'll be on Saturday, March 5th. And then on March 19th, we're going to do a live stream with the host committee, and we'll be posting people's comments and where they'll be coming from, and it'll just give a great idea of, as we get closer, we're going to have meetings probably eventually every week once we get into April. And that's just, again, to just keep everybody informed. We'll do the live stream with the committee, and then just have a big monthly Zoom meeting. I imagine the May 7th meeting with everyone will be a pretty big meeting. And I haven't decided. I may use that opportunity right there to we should have all of our plans in place with infrastructure and camping grounds and host families and host homes with showers, etc. We're going to have to be humble, but that'll be a good meeting. May 7th. That's tomorrow. And then May 14th, I plan on doing an orientation, and that'll be our final meeting because a lot of canoes, say our relatives from Portland in the El Lobo canoe is going to leave from the South Sound. I'm just throwing that out there. Well, we want everyone, when I say orientation, we want everybody to be on the same page, that the host that we're going through have first aid, that they, understand that this is a canoe encampment. So that's going to be a really, again, a real final meeting there on May 14th. And then on May 20th and 21st, okay, so some of our volunteers are going to come from way far away, and they're going to stay with us on the mainland and help us. But we'll do orientation on probably at noon on Friday, May 20th. So again, and then Saturday, May 21st, again, these will both be at 12 noon. I'm doing 2 because some people are going to be at work, and then Saturday. And if you are volunteering, if you are paddling, if you're doing logistics for your canoe family and making reservations to catch the ferry over to the San Juan Islands, these are going to be real vital to know and understand for the 10 to 12 canoes that are going to do this paddle leg, which I'm just calling the Clactamish paddle, from Anacortes to Lopez so there's going to be that'll be a real good orientation. It'll be just like this. We'll do a walkthrough. If anybody has any questions, hopefully by then we'll have our infrastructure in place. I got my grounds manager and campground manager. I got verbal confirmation from them, who to talk to about arts and crafts, food, where do I charge my phone, where's the nearest laundromat, where can my elder get a cheap room up in Ferndale, which is about 10 or 15 minute drive from the landing grounds. Where are the landing grounds? Where's the soft landing? What's the tides? All that will be a part of our final orientation there as we get through May. Wow, try saying that over again. And then on May 22nd is when we're in Anacortes. We'll look forward to being with our relatives. Some of the canoes will plan on coming up and camping either in Swinomish and or Samish. And then I think we talked about the tides. I think it's a noon departure. And I think it's about a 4 or 5 hour pull. And yeah, and then go to Lopez for one night and then depart. I didn't update this one. So depart, go to San Juan Island on the 23rd. And then stay there for 2 nights at Friday Harbor. If you've ever been to Friday Harbor, it's a really cool place it's just awesome. It's going to be a great potlatch there on the island. And then go to Lopez Island on the 25th and stay the 25th and 26th. I'll update this because we're doing 2 days on San Juan and 2 days on Orcas. And then Friday, Memorial Day weekend on the 27th is our landing day. The 28th, I just call the honoring day. And then the 29th, I call it potlatch day. And then Memorial Day is on the 30th. And a lot of people will be departing that day. And so our team leaders, again, I'm the host, organizer, got Jody and Harry and Jeff taking real strong leads. I'll update this if you want to just kind of see who. I talked with Lisa Martinez out at Ho River, and I just kind of hinted at her, seeing if she could be our West Coast coordinator. Should canoes come from the West Coast, we need somebody to help take that lead. Same with South Sound. Jody's going to help me with identifying our Nanaimo delegation, Sliammon representatives, because they will be also taking the floor at our potlatch to kind of continue and pass on the torch. Muckleshoot, I haven't talked to Walter. I haven't talked to Tina or Aurelia. I think I messaged each of them and let them know that canoes may be coming up from Muckleshoot or Puyallup and coming up the South Sound. Not a part of the Clackamas paddle, but coming up from Suquamish on up, and that's to be determined. But Stephanie is going to have coordinators for each of the islands. And then I can't remember who was from Waldron. I think her name was Lori. I think Santana, if it's okay, I might put you in for Birch Bay, and Jana's online. And that's just in case. I don't know if any canoes are going to come down the mainland. Again, I'm just planning it all ways around, so we're prepared. I got arts and crafts vendor, food vendor. I got first aid and security, safety boat crew. We got Ron and Kathy, a ground manager. I got him on there. Parking and traffic control. Really, we just need that for the landing day. But as you could see, I'm looking, and maybe Santana and some young people. Sadie Olson was also going to help, but Santana, you're lummy. We need to think about our welcoming committee. Even possibly who our floor managers would be. Should the floor go all night? Somebody to do sound. Again, we're doing this grassroots. Anybody knows anybody that might be able to take pictures, have a drone shot when the canoes come in to organize the video and possibly online live feeds. I think it'd be pretty cool. There's some pretty cool stuff that I'm exploring right now. And Jody, I don't know if we got a website yet, but a lot of this we'll get ready to put up on the site so people can find this information. Again, I'm not planning on having cooks, but I've been offered donations of food. We're going to start fundraising, just so everybody knows. We're going to fundraise, and we're just trying to do it potlatch style, I guess. The potlatches were banned in the late 1800s and early 1900s by the governments of Canada and the United States. And so, we're really trying to revive, but I have some great friends that are going to help us do some food drives so that we have, like in the old days, a box full of food, milk, juice, eggs, bread, etc. And so that's where I want to kind of, and then I had a good friend, he said he'll donate an elk. Wow. Okay, so we'll throw the elk in the, we'll organize, we got to do some fundraising for a lot of the infrastructure, toilets, hand washing stations, lights and generators, I think, and bleachers. We want to help fundraise for, because our event's going to be outdoors. That's really the only way we're going to, I don't know if I know we live in the Northwest, and we do get May showers. And yeah, down below are just some notes that I have.
Going to be your grounds are at Stormish. I'm not quite clear where we're actually going to do the sharing and gathering. Could you be clear on that?
What's that?
So where exactly are we gathering after we land on the beaches there? Are we gathering at Stormish grounds, or is it in yours or your?
At the Stormish grounds, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you.
So these are just some notes of that I have to. I just have them at the bottom, and some people that I haven't asked. Against the schedule of events. Again, this is a fully vaccinated event for the safety and welfare of our visiting canoe families. This I'm going to detail out each day of where and when. So when we get closer to departure, a lot of this will have tides. It'll be like your little guide for the weekend and who, what, where, when, why, and how. So I'll work on this schedule here. I just started it. That's our poster. I did a canoe registration form. It's just a draft. We want to make sure everyone has their proof of vaccination, and that'll be taken care of by each of the skippers. I'm not quite done with doing everything that's entailed into the applications. I was working on a liability, and that's just something that if you're doing an event and you have event insurance with eventually, I think I'm going to have to get, but you have to have a liability waiver should anything happen. I think I'm missing like emergency contact numbers on some of the forms. Like on the food form, I need to add proof of food handler's card. I did these drafts of they're just little square. But they were the permits for the vendors, because when you go down onto the grounds, you're not going to be able to just go in and out on the grounds. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be traffic control, and you're just not going to be able to get down on the ground. So you're going to have this vendor permit that helps us maximize the grounds and takes safety into consideration. Of course, canoe families, you guys will have all access, and that's no disrespect on anybody, but all of our canoe families, our committee members will have a pass so that you don't have any questions. And then this is the checklist from Jody, which you could take a look at: the landing location, the contact information. We'll do a soft landing at probably at about 2 at Fisherman's Cove, just so everyone knows. I'm just going to let you know. And then the main landing will be, we'll start at 4 and probably end up right around 5:36. Should there be, depending on how many canoes come ashore. And then the soft landing down will be down at Portage for if any canoes come out of the south from Samish or coming from South Sound. Restrooms, tents, bleacher seating. These are important things: garbage can, hand sanitizing stations, audio equipment, water. Thank you, Jody, for putting this up. We'll send this over to our friends on the island, and we can make sure we get the camping details and iron all this out. What our COVID safety plan is. Again, we're going to be all camping down at the grounds. That's just so everybody's safe. We want everything. And then we'll have the host families around. Moorage at Lummi, garbage, marketplace, registration, volunteers, general listing of contacts. That's a great list, Jody, thanks. Elder hospitality, that's what I totally forgot. And I remember when I in 2007, I was the director for the Paddle to Lummi. and then in 19 I was a lead with the committee. But it's just good to have elder hospitality, somebody on golf carts always helping elders, you know, get up and around grounds there. And then Coast Guard, Border Services, almost there. And I will hand it off to Jody, and go ahead, Jody, take it from here.
No. So I have a question for you, just for clarity, Freddie. So are the canoes then landing in Lummi on the 27th and staying from the 27th through to the 30th in Lummi? Is that
Yes.
the plan?
Yes.
That's the plan. Okay, so I just want to point out a couple things, and that's the Canadian. So the schedule that is up is the American schedule. The Canadian canoes will actually be doing a training day on the 21st with the Canadian Coast Guard, and then doing Cowichan, East Saanich, Stewart Island, Waldron Island, Orcas, and we're probably doing some kind of full circle journey back to Cowichan and East Saanich. So we have confirmed on our side 3 support boats, Ron and Kathy in Lady Gray, who will be providing our safety boat, and then Randy, who will be in the Pearl, who will be providing on-water support, and Arnie Robinson in the Eagle Princess. So for the 10 Canadian canoes, the canoes that are registering, don't have to worry about support boats. We have enough boats on the water. And we also just came out of a really fantastic meeting, and thank you to Ron and Kathy and to Jeff and the others who participated, both with the Canadian Coast Guard and the American Coast Guard, and most recently the Canadian Border Services and the US Border Services, really working to sort of reshape relationships as we try and support canoe culture and just the honoring and respect for things like regalia and medicine, and just the movement of people across the border. So in a regular travel journeys year, if there are folks who have difficulty or anticipate difficulty crossing the border, they should, if you know anybody on your canoe family who has to cross the border, they should be reaching out right now. We have just barely enough time for those folks who need to have reconciliation applications put forward, which requires a letter from the host nation or from the committee to look to see if we can't get permission for them to come across the border. And there has been, and this is a fairly significant change, so please share this with your canoe families, that as of 2018, so the last time the canoes went over the border was 2019 for the paddle to Lummi, and in 2018, the end of 2018, they changed the regulations, and now a DUI makes you inaccessible to Canada. So if you have had one after 2018 to today, you actually are inadmissible and you need to apply for a reconciliation permit. So those folks who are 2018 and before that are grandfathered in because a DUI was not considered an inadmissible charge. It is now inadmissible. So that is a big change, and we need to make sure that canoe families are aware of that so no one gets turned back.
Excuse me, just clarification. So if you had a DUI before 2018, you can get your rehabilitation to cross, yes. But if after, you're out of luck.
After, you know what, I don't want to say you're out of luck because that sounds very finite, but it's going to be a much more difficult process to do.
Process to get it removed.
Yeah, they have changed that. So what happens is, so in 2016, we worked to get someone from the California canoe family over the border. He had in 1962 been arrested for protesting at Berkeley. And I think Strider's shaking his head because he remembers this. And it took us about 10 months because although it was just a misdemeanor crime in California, in Canada, that's the crime against the Queen, and he was inadmissible. And it took us about 10 months to get him permission to cross the border, only for him not to get the time off work. Do you remember? It was like, what the heck? So there is some challenges. What we're trying to do though with the border, with our relationship with Border Services is, certainly it's not a relationship that will happen, which we'll see change necessarily tomorrow, but I would think that within 5 years that relationship will have reformatted itself, and that we will not have issues for Indigenous peoples wanting to cross the border connected to tribal journeys. There'll be a new relationship emerging from that. So at this point, we do have a request from the Canadian or from the American Coast Guard to complete the marine plan. So I can do that for the Canadian canoes. We have that document prepared and ready to be submitted. It's just, it's supposed to go 135 days in advance of the canoes hitting the water. So we're a little shy. So someone who is, I don't know, Freddie, if that's going to be you or someone else, but you need to, just so that they're aware, because we have, you know, in a regular travel journey, there's lots of support boats that can come to the rescue of canoes if they get into trouble, and they're not going to be nearly the same amount of support boats on the water this time. So I think that more so than in previous years, having the Coast Guard be aware of the canoes movement is really essential. So that's the marine permit that needs to be filled out, and we'll get ours in. We were just waiting for the last couple of details to come forward. If anybody on the American side wants to come and join us, the Coast Guard will be running a training session on the 21st. I think it will be in Cowichan or it will be in Shell Beach. So we'll be doing cold water training before we leave. Our schedule is going to allow for a one-day stop on Stewart Island. This is a weather day stop for us. So if we can't leave East Saanich for some reason, that we have a buffer day in there. We will, if we can get to Stewart Island and time permits, we'll also be running some canoe exercises at that stop. So just helping folks, you know, it's been a couple of years since we've been in the canoe, and so wanting to make sure everybody is has got what they need. I think that that's really for us kind of the gist of it. We are limiting to 10 canoes, so we will open registration. I'll talk to Harry about it when he's back from Port Hardy, and I think our goal was just to open registration on the 5th of May, just first come, first serve. 10 canoes is 10 canoes. I know Strider has graciously said that there may be space in his canoe, that we'll have some pullers available. So if there are canoes that need pullers, that's great. I don't know if there's any US canoes that want to come over or meet us at the East Saanich crossing and travel with us. We need to know that in advance. The Canadian canoes are doing the stop on Waldron, which will be the only hosted stop. So for Waldron, that is the community hosting us, and we want to be really mindful and respectful of the number of canoes that they are wanting to host, and that they have a clear idea of when to expect us, which on our schedule right now is the 25th of May. So if there are American canoes that are going to come over, and I have heard rumors of one canoe that might want to come over and travel down with us back through the territory, we want to make sure that we account for them in our numbers. So please do let me know. Same deal as Freddie was saying, COVID protocols will be in place, so everyone must have proof of double vaccinations. They are lifting at the end of February, so on the 28th of February they'll be lifting the mandates at the border, so the testing mandates. We will continue to work with our friends at First Nations Health Authority and Vancouver Island Health to make sure that we are updated, and we ask Border Services as well to keep us informed of any changes at the border in terms of what the requirements are for crossing over. That's, I think, everything. Did I miss anything, Jeff, Kathy, Ron? Did I miss anything?
Ipswa here. We still really need that actual letter of invitation written from Freddie and your society or whoever it is that is the body over there. That will follow a number for us to be allowed to make the applications for people to drive over and such. So like you have the schedule up there, but that's not an actual specific invitation. So we need the actual letter of invitation.
So you just need a letter to the canoe families. I'll work on that.
I think that would be awesome. That would be great. Thanks, Strider. Ron, Kathy?
Hi, Jody. The things that you said made a lot of sense. Just the way you put it, and I'll send you a message that follows up with some thoughts as they evolve for us. I have a question for Freddie. Perhaps you could answer. So we have canoes that would be coming from Canada, and we have canoes that are paddling and pulling through the San Juans. And there are other people who might want to come from the outside with no canoe, or there might even be people from the village of Lummi who want to come to the beach and communicate with the canoes and things are coming. How do we certify people who are not in our bubble called the journey, who come in from the outside by walking or by car, that they have been fully vaccinated.
How do we?
And if the bubble breaks, you're not safe.
Yeah, like I said, that's going to be our challenge. I just think, I mean, because I have my own family members. I'm an anti-vaxxer, okay? I was skeptical, but I got the vaccination, and I think, yeah, that's why I had mentioned possibly creating like some cool lanyards, and everybody has to, you know, that's how you're going to show you're vaccinated. I mean, I don't want to, you know, we have to really continue to emphasize that. I just don't know. I don't know how many of you are associated with the smokehouses, but we had here at the Nation, we had an outbreak at one of the houses with new babies and new cosalics. And so it's a reality. We're just, again, we had it September 1st last year with one canoe, Carver's Camp. And so, and you guys came too. I don't know. I don't know if people are real desperate on, you know, faking their vaccination, or I know I have good friends that are anti-vaxxers. So that's just a call that we as the host will keep emphasizing.
I would say just one thing to that, sorry, is that for the Canadian canoes, and I can speak for Harry, he's not here, I like speaking for him, as you know, anyway, but I can say with certainty that he will not be shy about checking. It's not, for us, the issue isn't the canoes, because registration. So part of our gig is that, unlike in a typical travel journeys year where people just join the journey as we go, and we get a puller from this place and whatever, that will not be happening for the Canadian canoes this year. It's way too hard to control, and we want to make sure that we are doing everything as safe as possible. So we will be asking the canoe families to list everyone traveling with them in whatever capacity that is. It's not so much connected to road crew, because there really is no road crew per se for this, but all the pullers have to be double vaccinated. We can ask, certainly in the 2 Canadian host stops, you'll have to be double vaccinated to do anything there. And Harry is just absolutely not shy about setting up a mechanism to ensure that that happens. I think we're challenged. Stomach grounds is big, and it, you know, if there's multiple entry points, how do you control that? I know one of the things that, you know, and I think you'll probably very much agree with this, is Harry said he's not the COVID police, but he is not shy about making sure that everybody's lived up to the expectation that their canoe families are double vaccinated, and that if they are required to provide proof of vaccination, that they're able to do that. So I agree. I don't know how we do that in a larger setting, except that within our own canoe bubbles, that we need to make sure that everybody's is double vaccinated.
Go ahead, Strider. Go ahead, raise your hands, everyone, if you want to speak. Go ahead, Strider.
Relative. So yeah, going to this issue, and I don't want to be for or against vaccine, but I guess I want to speak to the reality of the context. So, you know, vaccine, you know, limits our risks and mitigates the long-term health implications. That doesn't somehow make them virus-free, bug-carrying free, or what have you. So my concern is, yeah, particularly in the grounds and at the landing site, are the areas where we're going to have the highest exposure. I'm not concerned about our canoe group bubbles, because we're following as close a protocol as we can. My concern is the general public, and the general practice has been, even at the sporting events, whatever, is, you know, to distance, to limit the amount of seating and volumes that people are attending. So I'm just concerned how, in a good way, do we limit the guests? My understanding was we were going to video record and encourage people to, as an example, watch from home or follow the live streams, and to keep the sort of Stormers grounds for the family, and I want to just loosely say the extended family that might be connected with that. So I would want to see some sort of pass or ticket or some way to keep those areas, slowed down. My worry being we haven't had a lot of events in Indian country. If this is the only one going on, I could just see how it would be quickly become very overwhelmed with large volumes of people who want to come for those good feelings, for those connections. And I'm worried from an event management point of view, are we doing the best to mitigate that risk? And I don't care about whether vaxxed or non-vaxxed. It's about numbers of people being in communication with each other that are still possible carriers.
Yeah, I think I mean we can mandate masks too. I mean, everybody at the Super Bowl, I don't know how many tens of thousands, if not 100,000 people were there. That was just the mandate. So again, we're watching the numbers go down. The mask mandates are coming down, except in like some, I think, in schools. So again, I'm going to follow the science. So go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Actually, Ron wanted to, I think, follow up. So go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I wanted to give a personal touch to why I initiated this conversation. So far this year, Kathy and I have lost 5 members of our families, very sadly, to this virus. I've had pneumonia 3 times in my life. Kathy and I both are elders. Kathy and I both have respiration issues. I can tell you right now, Lady Gray will be right close to our 10 canoes and will not come to shore unless we are absolutely certain that our bubble is safe. This is a deadly choice for us. Freddie, I also want to say we want to thank you for the inspiration you're giving us and the opportunity to look deeply at what we're doing. And I know we all look forward to culture going back into high gear and on the water and safe and healthy.
Go ahead, Jeff. Thank you.
Okay, I just, let's see. Well, one thing is, it seems like one way to do it is like we have people like basically like security, and they're on top of it. And then if we do have a visible emblem of our vaccination status, then it's easier to enforce that. And that that there's I guess if one thing is if, just like if you, like how you deal with certain eventualities, like if people are drinking or drugging, and if you have a policy ahead of time, then it's a lot easier to deal with it. And if you have a policy ahead of time for how to deal with the various factors regarding dealing with COVID, that's good. One other little thing is that we might want to put on the forms the dates of the vaccinations too. People put that in there because people could say, "Oh yeah, I'm vaccinated," but they got vaccinated a long time ago with the Johnson and Johnson, which I guess has a very short life, and all these vaccines probably have a limited value. So
now you're making me work. Now you're making me work, Jeff, putting dates on. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I really like the lanyard, the like vaccination card. That would be cool to hand out. I have these old paddle talummi. We made some. I couldn't make ribbons, and so the guys at the copy stores had me make these waterproof ribbons. And I think that might be a good way to have proof of vaccination. Once you prove, you walk in, and then you just wear that as a guest, as a canoe family, so that everybody knows that you're vaccinated. So
also, Freddie and I were talking, and we discussed the possibility of maybe something that could be attached to the copper ring necklace. So it's a possible way to
I think as well, like instead of ribbons, wouldn't we be better off with event bracelets that can be put on at the beginning of registration? So the skippers say, we need 10, and we do that when we do our feasting, 10 bracelets go to each, however many they need goes to the canoe family. And then that's what indicates that they are vaccinated. So then we don't have to worry about things being lost or stuff. Sorry, Ron, go ahead.
You're muted.
Ron, you're muted.
The only thing that I'm concerned about, and I realize that everybody who is in front of me now are people of high integrity. Otherwise, you would not be here now. But many times, not everybody is always of high integrity, and they'll take off their bracelet as they leave and give it to their friend who's coming in, or they'll take off the necklace and hand it to their friend. Yeah. Security is very intensely difficult. And when you talk to people, if they're wearing a mask, they only wear it up to here and don't cover their nose, as if they never breathe through their nose. They play a game with you. I see it all the time in places like Costco that have people to tell you to put your mask on. If they don't tell you, you got to put it on correctly. You got to wear it right. So, it ends up, we become mask police, inoculation police, liar proofers. It's almost